Week 13 of the fantasy football season. And here's a few running backs I look to drop this week. The first guy, Elijah Mitchell of the San Francisco 49ers. So no doubt about it, he's a good talent, a physical back, and a guy who can make plays. But this guy, he just can't stay on the field. And once again, another knee injury has come down the pike here. Expected to miss 6 to 8 weeks, which will put him out for the season in the regular season. And on injured reserve here for Elijah Mitchell. So he was getting a decent amount of workload, even with Christian McCaffrey in town was Mitchell. But now with the other injury to the knee here, he's going to be done for the regular season and fantasy football season. The last few weeks, Week 10 versus the Chargers, 18 carries, 89 yards. Week 11 at Arizona, 9 carries, 59 yards. And Week 12, 7 carries, 35 yards, 2 catches, 8 yards. So he was putting up numbers, playing good football, but health has been an issue for him over the last 2 seasons. And a guy you just can't count on in fantasy football, so he's an easy drop this week. The next guy, Kenyon Drake of the Baltimore Ravens. So it's been a carousel of running backs over there in Baltimore. And I know Drake's had a couple decent games this season, but the last 2 weeks now, he's fell off. Gus Edwards has returned. J.K. Dobbins, his return is around the corner as well. He is going to be activated off IR. And Drake now, he's just a backup running back at this point. So the last few weeks here for him, Week 9, a monster game at the Saints. 24 carries, 93 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 catches, 16 yards. Week 11 in Carolina, 10 carries, 46 yards, 2 catches, 7 yards. And Week 12 at Jacksonville, 2 carries, 2 yards. So right now, obviously, Gus Edwards is the guy over there right now when healthy in Baltimore. And also, they got Justice Hill in the mix. J.K. Dobbins coming back soon. And Drake looks like he's the odd man out, even though he had a couple big games early in the season. And he's only 60% of fantasy leagues, but he's about to drop this week. And the third and final running back I look to drop is Cam Akers of the Los Angeles Rams. So Cam Akers, they wanted him to be the man so bad over there in Los Angeles. They even got rid of Darrell Henderson last week. Akers, they were going to trade him at the deadline. Nothing happened there. Gave him an opportunity once again. And he hasn't done much here as Cam Akers the whole season. The last few games here for him, Week 10 versus Arizona, 6 carries, 22 yards. Week 11 at the Saints, in that one, 14 carries, 61 yards. And Week 12 at Kansas City, 8 carries, 37 yards. So I understand it's going to be tough for this Ram team to play with a lead with all the injuries and the banged-up offensive line for Akers to do much. But I think Kyren Williams is the running back you're going to want to own over there in Los Angeles, even though I don't see him being a monster fantasy performer, but a guy who's good as a flex option or a guy on your bench. But right here, Cam Akers, he just isn't the guy right now. And I had high hopes for him a couple seasons ago coming into the league, but this season he was a bust, and a guy fantasy owners really shouldn't roster. So that's a few running backs I look to drop here for Week 13 of the fantasy football season.